conflict, Russia's war against Ukraine. According to a senior White House official, Presidents Trump and Putin are tentatively scheduled to meet in person at the end of next week. Let's bring in NBC's Kelly O'Donnell at the White House. Kelly, I'll start with this summit between leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan and President Trump. What exactly is being signed? What's happening?
Well, this is intended to end decades of conflict between these two nations, and certainly the president wants to highlight his ability to broker peace. We expect that we'll have some opportunity to see the president with the leaders today, as well as a signing ceremony. And of course, there is kind of an inherent conflict in this. We are talking about the protracted war of Russia fighting in Ukraine, and looking at that, and can there be peace achieved there as well, something that has eluded the president thus far, as well as many other leaders on the world stage. But for President Trump this afternoon, this event is an opportunity to show that he has been able to use his influence to bring about a calming down of long-standing differences that have to do with religious ties and geography and so forth, as part of what had been the Soviet Union and those new states since that time that have battled it out. So this is a way for the president to try to showcase his diplomatic skills. We've seen it in other conflicts. It's a subject matter he likes to talk about. Can he do that as well with Russia and Ukraine? That remains to be seen.
Hey, Kelly, we're talking about this new reporting about the summit between the president and President Putin, tentatively set for next week, we're told. What more are we learning about this?
Well, this has bubbled up rather quickly, and then imagine the logistics of trying to bring about a meeting of these world leaders when Vladimir Putin in many countries would be immediately arrested for war crimes. And so finding a location that would be hospitable, that would be in effect neutral territory, and all of the behind-the-scenes work for the logistics that are required for security, but also the content of the conversations. Typically, there aren't leader-level meetings until a lot of that is determined. So doing it at a quickened pace is unusual, certainly not entirely unusual for President Trump. But our best understanding at this point is at some point later next week, location to be determined, then all the specifics of timing to be determined, and will Volodymyr Zelensky have any role? He is saying tonight from his own country, Ukraine, that he thinks there could at least be a ceasefire, if not a more enduring peace, that could come of this.
All right, Kelly O'Donnell for us on a busy day. Kelly, thank you.
All right, now to Texas and the push by Republicans to redraw the state's congressional map in their favor and give the GOP a major advantage in the U.S. House of Representatives.
Today, the state legislature went back into session for less than 8 minutes. That's because dozens of Democrats have left Texas, preventing the state house from having a quorum to conduct any business. NBC News correspondent Ryan Chandler's at the Texas State House for us. Ryan, so what happened when they went back in session, and where do things go next?
No quorum from Democrats and no mercy from Republicans. That about sums it up. The speaker announcing severe new penalties for Democrats who have chosen to flee the state. They did not have a quorum today. They had 95 people, just 5 short of a quorum, but that's enough to stall work here at the Capitol for the 5th straight day. The speaker adding financial penalties on top of the $500 a day that, by the way, members must pay out of their own pocket, not their campaign accounts, for breaking quorum. These Democrats are now going to lose a third of their office budgets each month as this continues. He also says that he's going to be filing lawsuits in more states to try and get Democratic states to recognize the civil arrest warrant for these Democrats. Listen, Republicans are frustrated but undeterred. They know they have the structural advantage. They have the votes. They have the authority from the governor to call as many special sessions as they want. Democrats know that as well. But I asked Governor Abbott about this in our interview yesterday. Here's what he said.
Democrats act like they're not going to come back as long as this is an issue. That means they're not going to come back until like 2027 or 2028, because I'm going to call special session after special session after special session with these same agenda items on there.
Democrats, at least publicly, are saying they are still undeterred. In fact, some of them are on the way to California, where they'll be standing with Governor Gavin Newsom to protest against this and push the state of California to pass their own redistricting maps in retaliation.
So where do we stand with the threats to arrest Democrats? I understand the FBI now involved, and there could be some possible bribery investigation in the works. What in the world's going on?
That's what Senator John Cornyn told me last night. He says that the FBI, at his request, is helping local law enforcement locate these Democrats wherever they may be across the country. But he also said that he has concerns about bribery allegations, that some of the funding that is fueling this quorum break could violate federal law, and he hopes that the FBI opens an investigation. That could turn the tables, because that could present serious felony charges for these Democrats. We're not just talking about a civil arrest warrant anymore. We're talking about real criminal charges that could land these Democrats in court, in jail, and yes, that's an argument that will play out in the courts. Senator Cornyn saying he wants to wait for the results of an investigation, but they are talking real threats with real consequences for these Democrats.
All right, Ryan Chandler, thank you so much.
Time now for some consumer news. Peloton is expanding into the wellness space.
And another streaming service is cracking down on